The vision of TI Kenya is a corruption-free Kenya. Our mission is to champion the fight against corruption by promoting integrity, transparency, and accountability.
There's a lot of corruption. Wanaiba sana.
So for the next 6 years tukachangia kununua basi mpya for the school. Ile kitu tulipata haikuwa basi na haikuwa mpya.
Over the last 10 years, we have influenced legislation either by proposing amendments to existing legislation, proposing new legislation, or advocating for reformulation of existing legislation to support the fight against corruption. We have over 20 pieces of legislation that have our footprint in the last 10 years. At the county level, we have worked with county governments to help them strengthen the legislative framework for the fight against corruption in their counties. Specifically, in Kisumu County, we have helped them develop a county code of ethics that is now in force. In Busia County, we have helped them develop a county anti-corruption plan. And in Trans Nzoia, we helped the county government of Trans Nzoia develop the first county strategy on education, the first one of its kind. We have also worked to strengthen institutions of governance through supporting sound procurement know-how and practices. And we worked closely on this with the National Environmental Management Authority, public schools, and county governments. We have also strengthened the integrity of recruitment processes, especially of those institutions that carry out mass public recruitment, like the military, the police, the Kenya Forest Service, and the Kenya Wildlife Service. And as a result of this work, some of these organizations have taken it further.
Action for Transparency app empowers citizens to report corruption on education and health institutions using their mobile phone.
We have deployed technology in our work. The complaints handling function, that is the core of our engagement with the public, has benefited significantly from the deployment of technology. We are part of the integrated public complaints referral mechanism that receives complaints and refers them to respective participating agencies. This platform, what we call Uwajibikaji Pamoja, was initiated as a follow-up of the recommendations of a study that was done in 2011 focusing on the food aid assistance within the context of the drought that ravaged this region during that time. Have developed cutting-edge research products. Our flagship product being the East African Bribery Index that has been produced for the last 7 years. We have also worked with the communities to strengthen civilian oversight especially through the support that we give them through our ALACs, the Advocacy and Legal Advice Centers, which is a one-stop shop where victims and witnesses of corruption can come and receive confidential legal advice on how to deal with corruption issues.
I am Anthony Jenga, a member of the Nairobi Good Governance Coalition, normally referred to as NGGC. NGGC is a coalition of some 20 community-based organizations spread out all around Nairobi. NGGC works with Transparency International Kenya in its outreach program, where NGGC's members will normally mobilize citizens for particular cases in civic education.
We have 4 ALACs going on since 2010. We have an ALAC in Mombasa that serves the coastal region. We have an ALAC in Kisumu that focuses on the western and Nyanza region. And we have an ALAC in Eldoret that services the North Rift region. And one in Nairobi that serves Nairobi and its environs. We have seen over 10,000 complaints being received in the ALACs, and some of them being resolved and others being referred to relevant public institutions. We served in the first cycle of the review of the UNCA coalition, that's the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, the first cycle review for Kenya, which we were one of the 2 civil society organizations that were appointed by the Attorney General to be part of the National Steering Committee. The second cycle has commenced, and we have also again been appointed by the Attorney General to sit in that steering committee. We have also helped put together the County Assembly Representatives Network Against Corruption in 3 counties so far, and our vision is that these informal caucuses within our legislative arm will take root and play a robust role in supporting the formal structures within the County Assembly, within the National Assembly, and within the Senate to play their role in fighting corruption and ensuring accountability for public resources. In totality, we can say that citizens have benefited from the support and advice that we provided to them. Finally, we have made sure that we put internal structures that help us communicate effectively, but also account for the resources that have been entrusted to us by our partners, our supporters, and those who are interested in our work.
A corruption-free Kenya.
A corruption-free Kenya.
A corruption-free Kenya.
A corruption-free Kenya.
A corruption-free Kenya.